Hey guys, I have been reading some research about essential oils and thought that I would share some of the tidbits that I am learning with you. And I have no idea if this is the kind of thing that you might be interested in and want to hear from me. So please like my post if this is something you're enjoying hearing, and comment below with your thoughts on whether you want more of something like this. But I just thought I would share what I've read and see how it goes. So I'm reading in the Life Science Publishing Essential Oils Desk Reference, and they've compiled a lot of research and information into this publication, and it's a lot of new information, so it's research that is still ongoing, being presented again and again to see if it keeps happening and all that good stuff. But I love research because the more research is being done, the more we have something to use to make our own decisions with. So our world has got all kinds of problems that need to be solved, and research helps us find better and better ways to do things. So I'm in chapter 3 of this desk reference, and it is called Scientific Research and Documentation, and I'm on page 29 where that chapter begins. And I'm just going to read like maybe a page worth of information to you that I thought was crazy awesome and exciting. And it starts off a little dark, but it gets there, to see what you guys think. So the subset of this chapter that I'm reading from is called An Agricultural Practice Births Killer Microbes. Woo! And microbes are not good things for our body. So here we go. In 2009, 35 million pounds of antibiotics were used in the United States. A whopping 70% of those antibiotics went to pigs, chickens, and cows. This overuse of antibiotics, according to the Associated Press, has led to a plague of drug-resistant infections that killed more than 65,000 people in the U.S. last year, more than prostate and breast cancer combined. 13% of the antibiotics administered to animals are simply for the purpose of making them grow faster. This over-medicating of animals has resulted in killer antibiotic-resistant strains of malaria, tuberculosis, and staph. Antibacterial soaps containing the chemical triclosan have become a popular answer to this problem, and I think you will note if you go look at your antibacterial soap that you have in your bathroom right now, unless you've been really serious about making sure what you're using doesn't have this chemical in it, triclosan will be in there. So, let me read that again. Antibacterial soaps containing the chemical triclosan have become a popular answer to this problem. However, a meta-analysis of 27 studies showed that soaps with triclosan in the concentrations purchased by consumers were no more effective than plain soap in preventing infectious illness symptoms and reducing bacterial levels on the hands. Even worse news is that many virulent strains of bacteria are now resistant to triclosan. E. coli, a version of salmonella, a version of staph, and a version of tuberculosis are all able to fight triclosan with a cellular mechanism that's called a bacterial efflux pump that discharges the antibacterial agent and any other antimicrobial or antibiotic away from the cell. A recent study documented that bacteria, I'm not going to try to say it, but a certain type of bacteria use this exact action against triclosan, so they've watched it happen. Chicago hospitals and nursing homes reported an increase of a drug-resistant bacteria that they call KPC that kills 40% of its victims. The superbug C. diff sickens about 50,000 Americans a year, causing 15,000 to 20,000 deaths. It is now considered a rival to MRSA. So, second little subset, the new but ancient weapon against drug-resistant bacteria. As the number of antibiotics known to fight these virulent killers dwindles, the amazing natural power of essential oils has captured researchers' attention. A 2008 study by D. Gary Young, ND, Sue Chow, Craig Oberg, PhD, and Karen Nakaoda, PhD, published in the Flavor and Fragrance Journal, reported that 78 out of 91 essential oils tested inhibited MRSA. Lemongrass, lemon myrtle, mountain savory, cinnamon, and Melissa essential oils had the highest rates of inhibition against MRSA. The oil blends RC, motivation, and longevity had the strongest inhibition of oil blends tested. Cinnamon essential oil was tested and found to enhance the antimicrobial drug clindamycin against C. diff. The chemical constituents of Eucalyptus globulus, aromodendrine, 1,8-cenol, and globulol were also effective against multi-drug resistant bacteria. The 2010 study reported the oil exerted a marked inhibition against multi-drug resistant bacteria such as MRSA and VRE. The individual constituents worked in a synergistic effect. A British study tested geranium and lemongrass essential oil vapors against antibiotic sensitive and resistant bacteria, including MRSA, VRE, and a couple other things that I don't know how to pronounce. The combined oil vapor affected an 89% reduction of airborne bacteria. So I'll just stop there because I don't want to bore you to death if this isn't something that you like. But I was really excited to hear that information, that alongside of some of the antibiotics we have currently, essential oils are helping that fight against this bacteria. Sometimes even separately from those antibiotics, essential oils seem to be effective against these like super bacteria that we seem to be experiencing. All this research is really new. You heard me say 2008, 2010. Research is still ongoing, but I find this like super promising and a big reason to look into and consider essential oils to maintain wellness.